and Neptunas Klaipeda. Well, this Besiktas team has been playing great basketball lately. Falco Sombote are at home to Happy Casa Brindisi. Telecom Baskets Bonn are hosting JD Dijon, and Casademont Zaragoza are also hosting PAOK. That'll be tomorrow here in the penultimate week of the regular season. So you will look at the standings and understand why this game is so important for both of these teams and why the fans have turned out tonight to back this Besiktas team, which, by the way, is coming off a huge win over the weekend over Anadolu Efes. Casademont Zaragoza up at the top, along with Dijon, both at 8-4. And then you've got Bonn at 7-5. Besiktas right there in fourth place at 6-6. If they win tonight, they clinch a spot in the playoffs. You look at Neptunas Klaipeda at 5-7. They need to win tonight to keep their chances alive of reaching the postseason. Now, both of these teams have advanced from the regular season in all three previous editions of the Basketball Champions League. Neither team has gone on to have much success in the postseason. Maybe that will change for one or maybe even both of these teams ultimately. We'll see. Neptunas Klaipeda tonight, coached by Tomas Rinkavicius, Tadas Pajera, Zigimantas Janavicius, Tadas Sedekerskis, Žugas Levinskas, Osvaldas Olasavicius, Simas Galdikas, Gitas Masulas, all the way down. It's a very talented roster, but one that has not played well away from home this season. And they will be looking to stop the rot tonight in this vitally important game here at Besiktas. For Besiktas, well, Todrick Gotcher, Omar Ukral Al, Ismet Akpinar, Shaquille McKissick, Samet Gayic, John Turgut, Birkin Batuk is back in the roster tonight. Jagdas Kayabasi, Borak Yıldızlı, Uz Shavas, and Nemanja Jurisic playing for Borak Birlikte. Now, the big story about Besiktas, if you've been following this competition in Turkish basketball, was just over a few weeks ago. In fact, it was during the holiday break that the team parted ways with Duško Savanovic, who left Turkey and returned to Spain to coach Baskonia for the third time. The team parted with James McAdoo, and the team also waved goodbye to Jordan Theodore, the MVP of this competition, back in year one when he played with then what was known as Banvit Bandirma, leading them all the way to the final. And everybody really looked at Besiktas like, well, that was it for them this season. They are done. All they've done since that point is win. They have won 3 consecutive games in the Basketball Champions League. And as you look at the Neptunas Klaipeda team that's coming out tonight, they will know the Besiktas are also riding high after beating the powerhouse Anadolu Efes team over the weekend. Just their second league defeat all season, Anadolu Efes. And Shaquille McKissick had a most remarkable game with 38 points. And that was some type of production from their high flyer. So we will see how this Besiktas team, if they can continue to keep the ball rolling. They've got all the momentum and suddenly look like a team that might not only get to the playoffs, but might be able to do some damage in the postseason. And I dare say that their fans and the players themselves, they're dreaming big, but they'll be taking it one game at a time. But it certainly has been the sort of recovery that will capture the imagination. And I can tell you, folks, I've done a lot of Besiktas games, and we've got a lot of fans that have piled into this arena tonight. They really seem to be believing now in this Besiktas team. And it'll be, again, very interesting to see if they can keep this momentum here at the business end of the season. It helps to have Batuk back, who's been out injured. Of course, he wants to be here. You see Yıldızlı coming out. His role has grown in importance since the change. Oğuz Şavas also playing like the Oğuz Şavas we know, the Turkey international. Nemanja Jurisic has been arguably, and I would say it has been the great turnaround here in the Basketball Champions League season. And if they win tonight, I think that will confirm that because they would then punch a spot in the playoffs. So you see the referees lining up for tonight's game, coaches shaking hands, players shaking hands beforehand. Neptunas won the contest between these two teams when they met earlier in the season. 86-80. That was back on November 20th. Besiktas were showing a lot of good things at the time, but they weren't able to finish some of their games. And also winning at Neptunas in Lithuania is anything but easy. You might remember last year's champions, Virtus Bologna. Well, they got their first defeat when they played at Neptunas. So now Neptunas will be hoping to turn the tables here and reverse that awful road form that they've had of late. And Besiktas, meanwhile, will be hoping to turn the tables as well. I mean, they actually outscored Neptunas at 35-24 in the fourth quarter of that first meeting and still lost by 6 points. So it was, they had a mountain to climb in that one. They just had a horrific third quarter. Look for Besiktas to play better tonight. They just look right now like a different team. Also like to remind everybody, if you want to keep up with all the latest news and information, get the Basketball Champions League app in your smartphone. It'll have everything. There's Boris Krejci in the middle from Slovenia, Radimir Vojinovic, and also coming in from Spain, the third referee. So you're about just under 3 minutes to go before the start of this game. You see the starting lineups there. Janovicius, Slavinskis, Olasavicius, Galdikas, and Galis will be in that starting five for Neptunas. Should have said the third referee from Italy, actually, Beniamino Manuel Attard. And there is coach Rinkavicius. And for Besiktas tonight, it'll be Todrick Gotcher. He's been playing terrific, as has Akpinar, the German international. Shaquille McKissick really took off over the weekend. Gajek and Jursic. Samet Gajek also has been vital in this recovery for this Besiktas team, which I think more than anything, they've shown how, playing team basketball will get you a long way. Biekte, the head coach of Besiktas, slapping high fives with his players, and he will know better than anybody that a three-game winning streak does not necessarily make this team a playoff team. All it does is it helps them build some confidence, and I'm pretty sure this Besiktas team right now feels like they could take on the world and beat them, as their weekend showing was against Anadolu Efes. It was just a terrific game, which they won 104-98. Also, folks, make sure you go to the championsleague.basketball website for all the latest news and information. Of course, you can find all of this information as well on the Basketball Champions League app. And really good work being done. You might want to check out the latest power rankings that have been published. And, well, where do these teams lie in the power rankings? Igor Turkovic has Neptunas Klaipeda at number 23. And he's got Besiktas all the way up now at number 9. So they have been climbing. And, again, this is a beautiful sight here in Besiktas to see the home crowd turn out tonight to support their team. They're on the cusp of a very important win. One, again, that would book their spot in the playoffs if they can pull it off. Of course, it's been a very emotional, sad few days in the world of basketball following the death of Kobe Bryant. his 13-year-old daughter, Gianna, and 7 others in a helicopter accident, helicopter crash in California. So a minute of silence will be respected this week before the start of every Basketball Champions League game in the honor and memory of the legendary Kobe Bryant, who is a 5-time NBA champion, a 2-time Olympic gold medalist, and FIBA Basketball World Cup Global Ambassador. Well, Kobe Bryant was only 41 years of age, and cannot put into words everything that he meant to international basketball and mankind, really. I mean, just an amazing individual, and really was doing arguably even his greatest work of all off the basketball court since his retirement in 2016. So a sad loss, but we're underway here at Besiktas as they take on Neptunas, and it's Besiktas. All of these players inspired, no doubt, in their careers by the play, by the character of Kobe Bryant. Jursic for Besiktas gets it down low, turns, puts it up, and they're battling for the rebound. They got a hand on it, but Neptunas come away with it. It was also a very sad week for another reason, following the passing of Robert Archibald, the Great Britain international, at 39 years of age. He died over the weekend as well. So our hearts go out to the family members and friends of those two great individuals. Well, Gotcher gets it down low, passes it back outside to Ismet Akpinar. Akpinar bounce pass down to Gayic. Turns and puts it up, shows a nice soft left-handed jump hook there. Samet Gayic, who's just again, it's just a wonderful thing to see a team come together like Besiktas have and really get the results and the performances that they have been craving. Better late than never. That's how you might describe this one. Get it down low, and the captain, Galdigas, puts it up and in with the left hand. Here's Shaquille McKissick. Drives in, misses. Besiktas. Remember, Neptunas snapped a 5-game losing streak last week, and here they are against Besiktas, and Jursic fouled as he goes up. So a couple of shots following the foul on Olasavicius. A couple of shots coming for Jursic. Jursic misses the first one. The Montenegrin takes his time, blows his fingers, and gets ready to attempt the second. And this time he rattles it in and puts Besiktas back in front, much to the delight of these fans who, again, they seem to be swept up in a little bit of a winning streak euphoria here for Besiktas. On the pass out on the perimeter, then it comes inside again to Galdikas, and he puts Neptunas in front. Akpinar Here he is driving in. He's been good during this winning streak. Looking for a foul, doesn't get it. Well, Savages again, and Galdikas scores, and it looks like Besiktas have a Galdikas problem. Same as Galdikas having his way down low. Gotcher with the shot clock down to 3. He's going to launch it and gets a little bit of space, but was short. And Besiktas looking tight here in the early going. Bounce pass. Galdikas again. His pass wraparound goes up and is scored. Excellent play by Galdikas and Slavinskas with the finish. Jurisic again to Gajic. He scored once. Now it's going to go to the right hand and had a good look. Just did not knock it down. Trying to give Neptunas a taste of their own medicine. But now the pass from Savages goes out of bounds. A little bit of a break for Besiktas, who look a little shaky here at the start of this game. Andre Williamson's just checked in for Galdikas. Well, that's one way to solve the Galdikas problem. Get him out of the game. Probably just needs to catch a breather. Akpinar back outside to Gotcher. He's got to hit that. He does! Todrick Gotcher. Gotcha! Knocks it in wide open. That is a big mistake by Neptunas. You cannot leave Gotcher wide open like that and expect to come away without giving up any points. He's too good of a shooter. Williamson now. And that low post goes up and is fouled. Either Jurisic or Gajic. Too much contact there, but the attacking player rewarded. Goes to the line, and it was Jurisic, in fact, who was whistled for the infraction. Williamson, left-handed, takes his time, bends his knees, scores. Interesting seeing Slavinskas in the starting lineup for Neptunas. I know over the years he's really been a late game replacement, or maybe not late game, but coming off the bench certainly. And that's bode well for his career that he seems to have brought it up a notch. That's the trust of his coach, Brinkavicius. Now Gotcher going to put it on the deck, gets it down low, and again, soft touch from Gotcher. So 5 points now for Todrick Gotcher. Savages puts on the deck, and this time his pass denied. Jurisic bumped, nope, takes it all the way for the dunk. How about that? Besiktas go in front. Give the steal to Samet Gajic. Savages, his pass. Looked like Besiktas got a hand on it. Now the pass out onto the perimeter, and the three-pointer is made by Davidis Galis. Slavinskas would appear to have the tough assignment on McKissick. And at some point, you would think Besiktas again would like to get McKissick going. But they're being patient now. Jurisic back outside. Here he is. McKissick fakes, goes off 1 foot. And Gajic with the offensive rebound. And then made what appeared to be not a too difficult of a shot. A little harder than it needed to be. Anavicius over to Galis, gets it back. Now Galis to Williamson. Galis, will it be 2 shots in a row? Yes, it will. And Neptunas go back in front by 4 points. And the dump, and another layup missed, this one by Jurisic. And those are the types of shots that could really hurt you late in the game. The misses, rather. This time it's Neptunas' turn to miss. McKissick has it. Off the hands of Gotcher. He chases it down before it goes out of bounds. And makes the pass back to Akpinar. Akpinar from deep. And Galis rebounds the miss. So Besiktas starting cold. So far, just 4 of 15 from the floor, 3 of 12 inside the arc. Little running shot, layup, no good by Janavicius. Now Gotcher to Jurisic. Oh, behind the back pass! Oh, what a play from Besiktas, finished by McKissick. Look at this again, Gotcher to Jurisic. A little bit of showtime here in Istanbul. And again, the follow. This time it will not go for Besiktas. Jurisic goes out. Boy, that was the play of the game, no doubt about it. And Oz Chavas comes into the game. Olasavicius takes a breather. Galis. Back to Janavicius. Now the entry pass to Williamson. And Slavinskis. Oh, he misses the layup. A lot of misses here in the early going. These two teams tight, perhaps. Sedikariskis also in the game now for Neptunas. And the ball batted out of bounds by Williamson. So it'll stay at this end with 13 on the shot clock. Jogela also in the game, number 23 for Neptunas. Omer Ukru-Al also just checks in, number 4, the point guard. But his play has been excellent of late as well. Gotcher gets it over to Yildiz, another who's been playing very well for this Besiktas team. Al puts it up right before the end of the shot clock. And I think they're going to say they did not release the ball in time, so they're going to inbound it down at this end. Williamson went down, but he gets up. Jogela. Now Galis. Sedikariskis gets it down low, but then Williamson turns it over. All gets it over to McKissick. Oh, goodness me! He rose high and threw it down. Watch this. Shaquille McKissick. And you can see the fans loving Shaquille McKissick. He had the 38 points against Anadolu Efes over the weekend, and here he is throwing down a big one against Neptunas and forcing the Lithuanian club to call a timeout. So 1 of 3 for Besiktas from deep. Neptunas have made their only 3. That was Galis. See both teams with the same number of makes as well inside the arc. And we're 14 apiece here at the Besiktas Akatla Arena. Well, Besiktas have struggled a little bit here in the first quarter, but they seem to be waking up a little bit, and I think it was their last 2 possessions, two of their last 3 possessions The Juricic behind the back pass to McKissick for the layup, and then the McKissick slam. And we are well and truly awake now. Certainly Besiktas are. They have 6 wins in their 12 games. Neptunas Klaipeda, meanwhile, 5-7. They had a great start to the season. Then they endured a long 5-game losing streak, which they snapped finally last week. And they know their backs are against the wall as they try to get back to the postseason for the 4th consecutive year. Galis gets in, and a whistle called, a late one. And looks like it's on Uz Shavas, the veteran Turkey center. Watch this again. Oh, yeah, he probably got him on the arm a little bit. He might have got some ball, but I think he probably grazed his right arm. Certainly the referee had every right to call that one. And Galis goes to the line with a chance to put Neptunas in front here with just under 45 seconds remaining in the opening quarter. Neptunas have got such great fans back home in Lithuania. You know they're watching this game with a lot of anticipation, knowing their team's going to come out and give everything as they try to stay in the hunt for the postseason. Gildesley with the rebound. Just 1 of 2 at the line for Neptunas, and now McKissick, who just had that sensational slam on the break. Passes it back to Al. Gildesley. McKissick again to Gildesley. Shot clock winding down. Gildesley puts it up. And Galis with the board. He rebounds and runs. Now brings it back out. And Neptunas will hold it. At least they'll try to hold it for 1. Here at the end of the quarter. Galis, 7 seconds. Galis launches it from deep. And the battle for the rebound. McKissick has it. He's got a little bit of time. He gets it to Gotcher, who launches it. Good! Goodness me, are you kidding me? Patrick Gotcher nods to the crowd and said, yes, it is good. Watch this. Unbelievable finish. As Todrick Gotcher had just enough time to launch the shot before the buzzer. And now they're going to look at it just to make sure. Here it is again. I thought he had it in time. Yep, he did indeed. The ball has left his hands, and they will count it. 3 utterly sensational plays by Besiktas already here in this first quarter, and they lead it 17-15 over Neptunas Klaipeda. So Besiktas 5 of 18 inside the arc, 2 of 4 from deep, including that Gotcher 3 there right before the halftime buzzer. You see 5 makes for Neptunas, also that 1 3-pointer. And this is how they started it with the Gaik little jump hook, soft release with that left hand. And then really it was Neptunas that was enjoying the better of the exchanges. But again, you know, it was really the Juricic behind the back pass on the break, which we'll see here in a second, to Shaquille McKissick, and then the McKissick jam that seemed to turn things around for Besiktas before Gotcher got that 3-pointer. He's got the 3-pointer right before the end of the quarter. And it's Besiktas that lead it by 2 points. Well, second quarter underway here, and Besiktas leading about 2 points. Galis into Galdikas. Galdikas patient and ends up throwing up a crazy shot. Gotcher quickly to McKissick. And Neptunas get back on defense. Chavas. Pass to Gotcher. Thought about it. He makes the pass to a wide open Akpinar. Chavas with the rebound. He misses And again, Yildisley this time misses, but then Gotcher gets the ball, puts it up, and is fouled. Boy, Neptunas will be upset that they did not get one of those rebounds. But 3 offensive rebounds this time for Besiktas. Gotcher goes to the line. And you saw the motion there under there. Ola Savicius saying we got to get both hands on the ball and bring it down. We can't give away these other opportunities. Oh, Gotcher missed that one badly. Not sure what happened on that release. Nine points for Gotcher. And now the 3 off target. Gotcher has it, pushes it quickly. And fouled as he gets to the line. Boy, he was like a bullet out of a gun that time. Todrick Gotcher. And Janovicius commits the foul. And he was having none of it. Gotcher just kind of brushed him aside. Karskas comes back into the game for Galis. Chavas hands it off. Akpinar over to Gotcher. Now Akpinar. Yildisley from deep. Knocks it in! Burak Yildisley, wanting a piece of the action, comes in and pushes the lead up to 6 points. The crowd going nuts here in Istanbul. And we'll look at the quick hands of Gotcher, and then he's fouled by Galdikas. And all the momentum right now with Besiktas. You see Shaquille McKissick coming up and asking for the unsportsmanlike. And I'll tell you what, I'm not sure if they're going to review this or not. Yes, they have. In fact, they have called the unsportsmanlike. So there you go. And Galdikas shows some sportsmanlike behavior, goes over and checks on Gotcher to make sure he's okay. But right now, Gotcher is playing at an elite level for Besiktas. He has been for the past few weeks. And now Batuk, the Turkey international, comes into the game. He's had the long injury layoff. Now he is back. And no doubt eager to really help this team, which has truly captivated these Besiktas fans who have come out tonight in big numbers to support them. By their standards, no doubt they have got the bug now for Besiktas. Gotcher goes to the line, makes it an 8-point lead. And now the offensive foul called on Besiktas, with Galdikas coming up on top of Chavas. And the foul was down low on Yildisley. Fouled Jogila. Janovicius. Jogila. Goes between the legs. His pass knocked away. And now Ola Savicius has it. Stop play. So they're going to inbound it with 8 seconds on the shot clock. And the three-pointer off the rim. The rebound, Olasavicius launches it. And again, another offensive rebound. Jokela puts it up and in. Jokela trying to make a big impact here coming off the bench. Here's Akpinar. Chava saw beautiful footwork from the veteran. Takes it back up to an 8-point lead. Another dump. Anavicius loses it out of bounds. The crowd here, great shot, great angle, and from that end of the court, and this is what is spurring on this Besiktas team as they try to clinch their spot in the playoffs with a win tonight. Akpinar goes between the legs, puts it on the deck, goes in, can't finish. Good rebound from Sedikerskas, and Batuk commits the foul. And good job, Galdikas getting his own offensive rebound off his own shot, putting it back up and in, playing like a captain tonight, bringing it down low for the Lithuanian club. Batuk. Now Shavas holds on to it. Galdikas denying him. Jokela holds his hand up to say he was guilty of the hold. You can see he's got his arm around Yildiz. So that puts them over the limit, and now Yildiz will go to the line. Jokela goes out of the game. And Yildiz, not a great free throw shooter, only shooting 50% coming into this game, makes the first. Missed both of his attempts last week against Falco Sombote when he had 8 points overall, but he looked pretty good on those two. Five points for Yildiz. Coming off the bench, back to an 8-point advantage. Anavicius, wow, what a beautiful drive. It looked like he was passing it, and in the end just took the runner and took it with his left hand, despite coming from the left side. And now another foul called on Neptunas, and this is what happens when you get into the bonus early on. When you're over the limit like Neptunas, you're giving the other team chances for easy points, and again, that is not a good sign, seeing Galdikas pick up a foul like that. He lives in foul trouble sometimes, and it's probably been the biggest I would suggest the biggest issue that he has faced in his Basketball Champions League career, staying on the court. Akpinar makes the first. In fact, I'm going to tell you how many minutes Galdikas averages as Akpinar makes both free throws to stretch the lead. Good defense by McKissick. Sigorta averages 18.6 minutes per game. And beautiful three-pointer from Galis. The second three-pointer of the night for him. Cuts it back to a 5-point deficit. Waiting for another Shaquille McKissick moment. Maybe this will be it. Makes the pass to the corner to Batuk, who gets it back to Yildisley, who drives in and earns another trip to the free throw line. And he'll be upset that he didn't make that. Perhaps bailed out by the foul call. Well, yeah, there was just a little bit of contact with the hand, but I suppose enough for the referee to make that call as Yildisley attacked the basket. And we've seen Yildisley, that's one thing that he has done well, really, the last couple of seasons, is put the ball on the deck and go to the basket, but now he misses the free throw. And I wish I could translate that Turkish, but I can't. I can't tell you what they're saying, but I'm guessing it's let's go get a win. Yildisley makes the second, so he's 3 of 4 at the line tonight. Foul called on Kalahatan John Gondor, running into Galis. Just past the midpoint here in the second quarter, and it's Besiktas up by 6 points. 6 wins in their 12 games this season, going up against a 5-7 Neptunas team. And this is the penultimate week of the regular season. A win puts Besiktas in the playoffs. Janavicius penetrates, dumps it off, tries to dump it off to Williamson, and well defended by Besiktas. The ball goes out of bounds with about 3 seconds on the shot clock. Certainly looks like Janavicius is dangerous as he gets into the lane and puts up those runners. Might have even had a chance to score himself there. 3.1 seconds on the shot clock. Galis, will it be another three? And this time he misses. Gotcher, who hit that big shot right before the end of the first quarter. Back in the game. He's got the ball. Now McKissick. Here he comes. Passes into the corner to Yildisley again, and Yildisley goes in hard, and great defense by Andre Williamson, meeting him right before he got to the rim. Galis. And Galis does a great job of getting in and cutting that deficit back to 4 points. Well, Galis is showing his quality. Both he and Gotcher with 11 points. Leading the way tonight. Chavas gets it down low, perhaps one dribble too many, able to get it back. Shot clock about to expire. All puts it up, or rather, John Gondor, and then quickly Neptunas to the other end. Galis left open. Will this be good? No, it will not be his third three. But Besiktas not able to get the rebound. Olasavicius tries to get it to Williamson, and Besiktas alert. Good play by Chavas. Excuse me, Yildisley, sticking his leg out. Remember Darren Williams when he played for Besiktas. They won a European title several years ago. And the fans hungry for that, but right now they've got a lot of work to do as Janavicius drives in and scores with a layup. And the momentum suddenly shifting back to Neptunas. 4 points for Janavicius. Now the drive, and the foul has been called. McKissick misses the first. Takes a deep breath and makes the second to take it back up to a 3-point lead here with 2:51 to go in this first half. And isn't it great seeing these two teams trade blows here in Istanbul in the 4th season of the Basketball Champions League. I mean, they have had their moments, both of these clubs, in this great competition. And tonight has got a real buzz about this proceedings. This is what you hope for when you go to a basketball game. See some stakes that are high. Neptunas trying to get something on the road, but Gotcher comes up with a steal, and he goes up and throws it down with 2 hands. Gotcher now with 13 points. Gotcher says, I can do this as well as hit 3-pointers. So behind his 13 points, Besiktas leading it by 5 points. Neptunas calling timeout. One of 14 free throws for Besiktas, 2 of 4 for Neptunas. So Besiktas doing a great job of getting to the line. Neptunas with better percentage inside the arc. 2 more makes. Passion evident tonight by the Besiktas faithful, who perhaps on the evidence of the last month or so, the last few weeks of action, think that this could be the year that this Besiktas team does something special. Anavicius into the paint. It's back to Galis, and the pass is intercepted by Gajic. They were trying to get it to Williamson. Pinar gets it over to McKissick, who now hands it off to Jurisic. He backs up Olasavicius. And a little jump hook, and a foul has been called on Olasavicius. Olasavicius thinking, how did I pick up a foul in that situation? Well, he was posting you up, and referee saw the contact, so he has called the foul. That is number 3 on the Neptunas veteran. So Jurisic takes his time, makes the first. Again, had possibly, well, I think it was the play of the game at the time with that behind-the-back pass to McKissick. But now you'd have to say it's either Gotcher's 3-pointer at the end of the first quarter, or you'd have to say the dunk by McKissick. Anyway, he only makes 1 of 2, and it's back to a 6-point lead. Olasavicius has the pass knocked away. Gotcher gets it over to Jurisic. Goes in, gets it to go. And he pushes the lead now back to 8 points. Galis. Slavinskis off to Williamson, and good concerted effort to get the ball inside the high percentage shot, and Williamson this time is able to catch it clean and go up and score. So Besiktas now called timeout. Late in the first half, 1:20 remaining.
just immediate, you can attack. If they close, one more. Run here. You can go under one more time. Doesn't matter. Tell them. We have one goal right. You can make your ball. If necessary, you can make your ball.
O easy basket.
Okay. Şey vermeyin. Eğer bir hücum daha burada, bir olanımız da var.
Neptunas shading the rebounds now 22 to 21. Although Besiktas do have 8 offensive boards, which is 2 more than the visitors. And I would suggest that this is going to be a game that'll go to the wire on the evidence of this first half. It just looks like it's going to be a barn burner all the way. McKissick from deep, rattles out. Vicious puts it up, and the ball batted away into the hands of Jurisic. 40 seconds to go now in the first half. And McKissick takes the bump and almost falls, but he will go to the line. The foul on Williamson. All checks back into the game. You see with 36 seconds left, the Besiktas go down and play defense and rebound. Will get the ball back. McKissick, meanwhile, makes the first of 2. And that is an anxious Besiktas fan watching proceedings here. McKissick again takes his time and gets the second one to go as well, and pushes the lead back to 8 points, which has been the biggest of the game. Neptunas, who's led by 5 themselves, trying to get something here. And now, with that foul, well, they'll put 14 seconds on the shot clock, so still some time for Besiktas to do more damage. Again, if they play defense and rebound. Vicious thinking he might be able to post up Omar Utku. Oh, no, he comes out to take the pass. Now he dribbles to his left into the corner. Jogela, and offensive rebound. Oh, that's a big play by Williamson. Huge play by Williamson. I mean, they were in need of some inspiration. And after Jogela's miss, Williamson just went up and took that ball away from Jurisic, scored and got the foul, so he will go to the line for a potential 3-point play. Vicious takes a seat. Slavinskis comes back in. Only with 9 players tonight. Here's Williamson, and indeed he completes the 3-point play. And cuts the deficit back to 5 with about 15 seconds to go. So another timeout, and Besiktas at bare minimum will want to go to halftime with a 5-point lead. They don't want to turn it over and let Neptunas get closer. Let's go down to the huddle and listen. Okay, well, 8 assists for Besiktas, 7 for Neptunas. Neptunas with 9 turnovers, just 2 against Besiktas. And in terms of points off turnovers, this is an astonishing stat, folks. 16 points off turnovers for Besiktas and 0 for Neptunas. So turning the ball over has been a costly exercise for the visiting team tonight. Ball inbounded now. Akpinar driving in and missing right at the buzzer. The ball tapped up again. Gotcher has it and then had a chance. Got it to McKissick, but he didn't catch it cleanly. And now with just a smidget of time, and now some items have been hurled down towards the court. I don't know, perhaps an apparent disagreement. Not exactly sure what that was about. That's not a good look. But hopefully they'll take care of that. So scarves and whatnot being pushed off to the side of the court. Anyway, Besiktas' players are out there on the court. Meanwhile, Neptunas drawing up what looks like a play that'll try to get them one basket here at the end with 6 seconds, excuse me, with 6/10 of a second, 0.6 remaining. They'll have time to catch it and shoot it. Both teams over the limit as well, so Besiktas will not want to foul here. The long shot no good by Jogela. And again, more scarves and whatnot being thrown onto the court. So that's a worrying development here late in the first half. So 38-33, Besiktas on top of Neptunas Klaipeda at halftime. So 8 of 28 inside the arc for Besiktas, 3 of 8, 13 of 18 at the line, 12 of 23 inside the arc, 2 of 10 from deep for Neptunas, and 3 of 5 at the line. You know the turnovers have been the big issue in this game. And also, as you see the rebounding, Neptunas with 2 more. But the 7 steals for Besiktas have been crucial for them in this opening half because they've gotten a lot of points off turnovers. Gotcher has a game-high 13 points right now. McKissick with 7 and Juricic with 6. Galis with 11. Gaudikas has 8. And Williamson goes to halftime also as one of his team's leading scorers with 6 points. So again, we're at the break. It's 38-33. Besiktas on top of Neptunas Klaipeda in this all-important game day 13 clash. Besiktas win it, they will clinch a spot in the playoffs. If Neptunas win it, they stay in the hunt for the playoffs. We'll be right back before the start of the second half.
Teknik alanlarının dahilsiniz. Hassasiyetiniz için çok teşekkür ederiz.
Take the full screen from Radovic, who wants the pass, gets the pass, great fight. Sealy going up with a great fight in the pick and roll.
On the shot clock, got to shoot it. Madsen in the lane. Madsen with that throw down. You gotta love it. I mean, he set the screen, went straight to the basket, and it was finish airways.
And Besiktas with an opportunity here to take the lead at halftime. McKissick flies in. Oh my goodness, quite possibly for the play of the half.
More now to McGee, drives the baseline. Oh, nutmeg pass to Ibequi. And he hits the three. Tell me that's not going to go onto the highlight reel. Look at this pass.
4 seconds left, the three-pointer to win it, yes! Tyler Stone!
And go Barcelona, just a bit casual, gets it back. Inside, Sela with a massive throwdown. Two hands, straight down the middle of the key. That's more like it. Looking for the pass. Oh, and there's the pass for the big flush. To Sean Thomas with authority. Coburn Brown's vision. That is a picture of perfection from Jerusalem. Inbounds Turk Telecom. They lead by 4 at the moment. Great pass! What a no-look bounce pass. And the throw down by Egemen Gulbeng, carrying on his good work. Now he goes off the dribble. And Terry with a big swat. Just throws it back in Simpson's face. Can they get the 3? Just shot. Oh my goodness! Emmanuel Terry is taking this game over. That's awesome.
Benite goes in against Brent, the rebound. Oh, goes behind his back. He puts it up. Are you kidding me? Vitor Benite is exceptional tonight. He is just making almost everything that he throws up. Look at this, behind the back, wide open.
Besiktas Sompo Sigorta 1 Şubat Cumartesi günü Galatasaray Boğa Sigorta ile oynanacağı İğneke Basketbol Süper Ligi müsabakasında desteğinizi bekliyoruz. Besiktas Sompo Sigorta Galatasaray Boğa Sigorta müsabakası 1 Şubat Cumartesi saat 17.30'da Atatürk Arena'da.
İşte her sabah uyandığımda Beşiktaş, Beşiktaş, Beşiktaş, Beşiktaş her zaman yanında. Taraftar kolunda 115. yaşında. Kafalar onunla, Beşiktaş yoluna, ömrümü sevdim uğruna.
Well, Tadr Gotcher and his 13 points have helped Besiktas to a lead here at halftime, 38-33 over Neptunas Klaipeda. We saw also the numbers of David Galis, who has 11 points for Neptunas Klaipeda. Both teams, I think, offensively can pick it up a notch here in the second half. Interesting to see if Besiktas can land some early blows here at the start of the third quarter. Remember, Neptunas have really had their struggles away from home this year. But they are basically playing for their basketball Champions League lives tonight. They need to win to stay alive in the hunt for top 4 place. And obviously they won the first meeting against Besiktas, so if they win this game, they would own the head-to-head against Besiktas. So a lot at stake for both teams. Besiktas winners of 3 straight. They were completely looked out of it less than a month ago, and they have just really been on a tear. Just a shake-up, new coach, some players taking more prominent roles during the team, some higher profile players leaving the club. You know, sometimes change is good, and that was certainly the case in the short term anyway for Besiktas. Oh, welcome back, folks. Second half action underway here in Istanbul between Besiktas and Neptunas Klaipeda. Besiktas starting things off in the white and now attacking the basket to the right. Shaquille McKissick gets it off to Jurisic, and he is fouled down low by Žugas Slavenskas. Now Gotcher, perhaps looking to add to his tally. Gets into the paint, goes up with the left hand, and Williamson rebounds the miss. And down low, Olasavicius. Misses, but gets it back now over to Janovicius, and he misses it from behind the arc. It's like really his game is more predicated on driving and dishing and scoring. Akpinar. Now Gayet. Relatively quiet night for him so far, able to get it back outside to Akpinar. Jurisic with the shot clock running down, loses control of it. And a couple of not so good first 2 possessions here at the start of the second half for Besiktas. We saw Jurisic go behind his back to good effect in the first half on the fast break when he got it to McKissick, but that time he lost control of the basketball. Still no change in the halftime score. Neptunas with 5 wins in their 12 games this season. Janovicius drives in and gets swatted by Gajic with 8 seconds on the shot clock. Gildesley, meanwhile, is going to come in. Jurisic goes out. And certainly does not look happy. Jurisic, I think, was complaining, thinking the foul should have been called at the other end. He himself has 3 fouls, so probably not a bad move to get him out, let him calm down a little bit. Olasavicius turns, and he is fouled by Gotcher as he turned to his right, then he turned back to his left. That's when Gotcher reached in. Watch this. Yeah, he got him good, as they say. Olasavicius trying to score the first points for either team here in the third quarter. And And he does. Makes the first free throw. Puts it back to a 4-point deficit. And gets the second one to go as well. So it's now a 3-point game in favor of Besiktas. McKissick puts it on the deck. And he goes out of bounds. Or the travel, it's called. Well, it says he stepped out of bounds. I didn't actually see his foot go out of bounds. Have to see it again. Anyway, Neptunas with a chance to tie it if they can hit a three. And Avicii's thought about launching it. Bayless, he's hit a couple tonight. He goes baseline, puts it up and in, and cuts it back to a 1-point game. Well, the old saying is, you know, if you're going to make your move, you got to make it at the start of the third quarter. If you're trailing, Neptunas have done that, and now they're behind by just 1 point. Gajic, oh boy, just gets in between the two defenders and scores with a layup. It would look very easy. Now Galis gets in, and he is fouled once again. Foul called on Gotcher. That's only the second foul on Gotcher. Bayless now with 14 points, leading all scorers. Remember, he had the reverse layup, and now 15. And again, cuts the deficit back to 1 point. McKissick turns it over with Williamson picking up the basketball. Bayless gets in and puts him in front. Starting like a house on fire here, playing with a lot of determination here at the start of the second half. Galis. Yodesley spins, puts it up, oh, he scores, and he is fouled on the play. Slavinskis called for the personal. Tough foul on Slavinskis. I mean, it looks like he goes straight up, but there was some contact. Going to get another attempt, Yodesley. And when he makes his free throws, he looks really good. But then when he misses them, he looks really uncomfortable at the line. So he didn't look good on that one. Let's see if the second attempt nets a different result. And it does indeed. Gets it up to the front of the cup, and it bounces in. So now a 2-point advantage. 9 points for Yodesley. Avicius. Olasavicius from deep. And Gotcher rebounds it. Puts it over to Gajic. McKissick from downtown. It's good! The three-pointer, Shaquille McKissick. Ten points for the high flyer. And now it's Neptunas trailing again by 5. The dump, beautiful play. Slavinskis scores the pass. The assist, chalk it up. Or hand it off to Galis. McKissick gets it to Gajic. Gajic looked like he might have dribbled it off. And that's going to be an over and back violation. for the referees. They do a good job, don't they? They get a lot of advice, and they just politely listen to it and say thanks. No, inside they must be saying, just let us do our job. But I guess it's part of their job is to listen in, interact. So the turnover issue is quite interesting here. Besiktas now with 5 turnovers in this third quarter, and that's remember that was what really spelled problems in the first half for Neptunas. Janavicius from deep, and Gaik rebounds the miss. Gotcha sees an opening over to Akpinar. Both teams not setting the world alight from three-point range. Now the alley-oop, and there is Slavinskas scoring points to the passer, to Janavicius. Thank you very much, he says. Back to a one-point game. Now McKissick bumped. Oh, he goes up. They're going to count it. Neptunas hoping the foul was going to be called before he took this shot, but it was already in the motion. Look at this. Slavinskas. And whether or not that was a great call or not, that was an alert play by McKissick to go hard and to get that shot off in the attempt to get the three-point play opportunity. By the way, all the stuff I think thrown onto the court beforehand was not bad-mannered. It was designed. Here's McKissick, makes the free throw. Because an act of goodwill to show support for the recent earthquake victims. Now Olasavicius. Janavicius again misses, and he's not really close on those three-pointers. Having a tough time tonight. Gotcher, meanwhile, has been good, but he misses on that one. He had the wide open look, so decided to take it. Olasavicius turns, and Jogela not able to rebound the miss. The ball kind of fell to him. Now McKissick on the open floor. This is where he's dangerous. Decides to put it up from deep, and Gotcher gets the rebound, but throws it into the hands of Olasavicius. Now a break for Neptunas, and they get another one, and it's Jogela who runs the floor and dunks his team to within 2 points. So that is a big 4-point swing. And a timeout has been called by Besiktas coach Burak Beyikte. Let's go down to the bench. See the Neptunas 17 of 31 now inside the arc. So certainly having more success in that sense, and a lot of that is Galis. David Galis, who has 17 points, 6 of 12 from the floor. Well, the only foul trouble to speak of is Galis and Daldikas each with 3 fouls, and Jursic with 3 fouls for Besiktas. So keep an eye on that, because Galis certainly is a player that is indispensable for Neptunas. And McKissick drives in and follows up the miss, doesn't make it. I found it hard to believe he could get so close to the basket. He knifed his way into the lane. Anyway, 14 seconds on the shot clock. Looked like McKissick was going to get the tap in. And his teammate. Gotcha. Hands it off. And Janavicius knocks it out of bounds. 9 seconds now on the shot clock. Gildesley goes to his left. Shot clock down to 4. He's going right at Olasavicius. Goes up. Great job defensively by the Lithuanian. Gets it over to Janavicius, who drives in, and great move until he misses. The finishing product was not there. Akpinar and quiet offensively. Just 2 points, 0 of 6 from the floor. Gildesley again, shot clock winding down. Over to McKissick, feet set. And Gotcha with the offensive rebound. Over to Akpinar. Bold shooters tonight. Akpinar takes the bump, puts it up, and Galdicus with the rebound, so Neptunas can tie it or take the lead with a 3. Coming up on the 12-minute mark of the game. Jogela back to Slavenskis for 3. I'm guessing that not the shot that really Neptunas want, but rather one that they settle for. McKissick into the corner. Gildesley for 3 is good. Well, that gives them a little bit of breathing room. Pushes the lead back to 5 points. 12 points now for Gildesley. 3 of 8 from the floor. He's 1 of 6 inside the arc, but he's made both of his attempts rather from 3-point range. And he's also 4 of 5 at the line. Shot clock winding down. The ball knocked away by Gildesley. And then a kick, and they're going to reset the clock to 14 seconds. And yeah, so the ball went off of Gayic, and it'll off the shin rather, and it'll remain at this end. Sedekarskas meanwhile checks back into the game for Neptunas. Sedekarskas right off the bench was short. Now, Kavahatin John Gondor brings the ball up the floor, wearing number 1. Over to Gotcha. McKissick. Explodes, hangs in the air. There for the rebound was Gayic, and he is fouled on the putback attempt. The aggressive play on the boards from Gayic. He's got 10 rebounds, 5 of them on the offensive glass to go with his 4 points. And he could very well flirt with a double-double tonight. He has struggled shooting the basketball. He hit that opening jump hook, but since that point really hasn't done too much. And in the end makes just 1 of 2. So the lead is 6. Sedekarskas crosses midcourt. Now Jogela. And a hold called down low on John Gondor. As Jogela cut towards the lane. Now they bring Galis back into the game. So the danger man, no doubt, He'll be looking to get his hands on the ball here. No, Jogela's going to launch it, and he's going to miss it off the back of the iron. Now McKissick picks it up, goes along the sideline, stays in bounds. And there's about a 4.5 second differential in the game clock and the shot clock. Besiktas with a 6-point lead. Remember, they were up 5 at halftime. They've led by as many as 8. Here's McKissick. It's go time. He puts it up. Offensive rebound, John Gondor. And no, they're going to say the ball did not touch the rim. So the basketball is back over to Neptunas. Aldicus goes back out, and Janovicius comes back in. So 2.9 seconds to go. I think they're double checking to make sure they've got the right amount of time on the clock. So indeed, I think they're going to put some more time on the clock. I think there should be about 4 seconds, I said, 4.5 seconds on the clock. That was the differential with the game clock and the shot clock. And since they did not hit the rim, okay, no, they're going to say 3.2. So either I can't add or there's something strange going on. I may have looked at that wrong. Anyway, ball is going to be inbounded. Janovicius gets it to the corner. Will it count? And no, it will not. Olosavicius held on to it just a little too long. So a blow for Neptunas. Could be that they would go and review that. They said no, it was not good before the buzzer. Here it is again. Watch. Look at the scoreboard light up. Yet, way too late. Olosavicius. And that's exactly what they did. They went and reviewed it. So Neptunas, they were really putting the pressure on there in that third quarter, but right now they are down 53-47, 10 minutes remaining. (16 of 22 at the line for Besiktas, just 7 of 9 for Neptunas. Also Neptunas just 2 of 17 from three-point range. And that might be the one area where I'm concerned if I'm Besiktas, knowing that Neptunas can get hot and make some three-pointers, although other than Galis tonight, no one has really looked dangerous putting it up from deep. Perhaps Olosavicius, who just hit a 3, but after the buzzer. Gotcha with 13 points, most of those, in fact all of those coming in the first half, 12 rebounds as well. So stop right now and you'd probably think, wow, he's had a good game tonight. But they're going to need him to do some more, I think, if they're going to get to the finish line. He's at plus 24 efficiency, Gotcha. 4 of 9 from the floor, 2 of 4 from three-point range. Gotcha. Olosavicius turns right into Akpinar. And Akpinar called for the foul. Looked like he might have tied him up there. So they do indeed call the foul on Ismet Akpinar. So you'll see one of those lines beneath Besiktas light up here in just a second. On the graphic, Olasavicius backing up Yildisley. It's in the paint. Oh boy, that was impressive. Good calm display by Olasavicius. And again, Neptunas, their fans will be hoping they've saved their best for last here in the fourth quarter. Yildisley open. Offensive rebound, Gajic. McKissick passes up to three. Gets inside, and he misses. He'll be upset with himself. He had a good look. Janavicius puts it on the deck into the paint. Over the shoulder pass to Galdikas. Now they get it to Olasavicius. Count it! That was in plenty of time, folks. Perhaps that's a little payback for what happened. Excuse me, that was Galis, not Olasavicius. So Galis makes it 20 points on the night, his third three-pointer. And Neptunas putting the pressure on here. Gotcher. Somebody's got to step up. Will it be Gotcher? He's going to put it up. Oh, that was big time. Nothing better than following a three-pointer from the opposition with a three in a tight game. He's got 16 points. Great hands now, this time by Gotcher to knock it out of bounds. Boy, you know, he has well and truly turned it on big style the past few weeks. Todrick Gotcher. The season was on the brink for Besiktas, and he's come alive and really provided this team with a lot of scoring punch. Galis, meanwhile, fouled by Samet Gajic as he gets into the lane. That is now the second foul on Besiktas here in the fourth quarter. And that's all credit to Galis. He has just been a one-man wrecking crew for this Neptunas team. Janavicius over to Galis. He's open. Why not? He rattles it in. And also fouled on the play by Akpinar. Potential 4-point play for Galis, who has got 23 points. Astonishing. Refusing to let his team lose right now. He has tied it up with a 4-point play at 56. He is 4 of 8 from three-point range. Gotcher drives in. Oh boy, that was a tough move by Todrick Gotcher. Looks like he's ready. He's like, game on, let's go, boys. 58-56. Janavicius. Galis spins in the paint, and it was pushed off the rim by Gajic. It looked like it was going to go down. Alert play defensively by the center of Besiktas. Huge play in the grand scheme of things. Akpinar. Gajic found some space, puts it up, and at both ends of the floor, Gajic comes up with huge plays. Ball goes off the hands of Slavinskas, but he gets it back. Janavicius launches it. Finally gets one to go. Well, you knew eventually it was going to happen, and it has. Janavicius gets a little bit of love from the rim and gets it back to a 1-point game with 6.5 minutes to go. 7 points. That was his 4th attempt, and he finally knocked one down. Remember, Neptunas need to win this game if they're going to stay in the hunt for the playoffs. Gotcher misses, but McKissick gets it back, hangs in the air, and puts it off the glass. Huge offensive rebound by Shaquille McKissick. Besiktas win tonight, they will clinch a spot in the playoffs. The tension is palpable here in Istanbul. And Kavicius pacing and smoldering the pressure. Look at him, he's fired up. He wants to go out himself. Just the high five, the low five. And he's going to give his team the instructions. Galis has been sensational with 24 points. Galdic has had the fast start. He's got 8 points, and now Janavicius has 7. Meanwhile, you got 3 players in double digits for Besiktas with Gotcher 18 points, McKissick 15, and Burak Yudizli with 12. McKissick maybe wishing he had saved a couple of those points anyway from the weekend when he had 38 against Anadolu Efes, but look at him, he's given everything tonight. It's put up or shut up time. Remarkable turnaround by Besiktas, but they really know they need to get the win tonight. The future's in their hands. Janavicius, bounce pass to Williamson. Great catch, Williamson, but then loses it out of bounds. Looked like he had control of it. Gotcher into the corner to Akpinar. And he is fouled by Janavicius, who helps him up. Akpinar, I think, almost inviting the foul there by Janavicius. Gotcher spins, hangs in the air. Great defense by Olasavicius. Nope, they're going to call the foul. Looked like he had good position there. And again, he does not agree with it. Well, there's contact. I'm not sure that Olasavicius could have played much better defense than he did. And that's what he's thinking. And perhaps the basketball gods intervened there on his behalf as Gotcher misses the first free throw. So Gotcher does make the second one. And he's now 4-6 from the line, 19 points, 4-point lead. And they pass down low, and Slavinskas goes up for the two-handed jam. Well, Neptunas not checking out of this one, folks. They are in it to win it. Look at this. 8 points for Juga Slavinskas. Gajic backing up Williamson. Nope, he's not backing him up at all, but he makes a tough shot. Boy, Williamson held his ground. Excellent defense, and yet Gajic, the softest of touches. 4:40 to go. 3-point attempt by Galis. Shows he's human, missing that one. And now an unsportsmanlike foul has been called on Slavinskas. That is brutal at this stage of the game for Neptunas. They cannot afford to commit that type of foul, in that, especially in that type of situation. Slavinskas saying, go look at it. But the referee has made the call, and they will look at it. Yeah, he's not playing the ball. They're going to call it. They're going to keep that one. And if I'm not mistaken, is that his second unsportsmanlike foul? Because if it is, he's out of the game. I know it's Gaudikas. Gaudikas had an unsportsmanlike, I think. I'm trying to think if it was Slavinskas. Looking back at my notes. The unsportsmanlike has indeed been kept. And Slavinskas gets to stay on the floor, so the first one was not his. And Yodisley, who has had issues at the free throw line this season and also in this game, actually has been pretty good. Makes the first, but misses the second. Every point counts in a close game. He's now 5 of 7 at the stripe tonight, 71.43%. And the lead goes back to 5. Yodisley with 13 points. 4.5 minutes remaining. Gotcher over to Gayak, into the corner to Akpinar. They whip it over to Yodisley. He goes up, and another foul has been called on Neptunas. That is number 4. It's on Janavicius. Impeding the progress with that left arm. So Yodisley bends his knees, makes the first. Goes to 14 points. And again, just goes 1 for 2. Besiktas at the line tonight, 19 of 28. That's a lot of misses, folks. Under the 70% mark, which is really the acceptable mark. Janavicius down low to Olasavicius. Skids! Oh, it doesn't go in. That looked like it was going to drop. And luck, that was not on his side. Akpinar, bounce pass. Yodisley again, over to Gayak. McKissick for 3. And bounces high over the backboard. What a contest, folks. It is a 6-point game, but it is tight. I know Neptunas surely has got a few more big plays to bring to the table here. Slavinskas backs up Akpinar, then passes it out to Janavicius. He's going to go in, he's going to put it up, and he's going to score. Tough drive from Janavicius. I like it when he goes hard to the basket. 3 minutes remaining. 4 points, the advantage for Besiktas. They win, they're in the playoffs. Neptunas win, they stay in the playoff hunt, or in the hunt for a playoff spot. Gayak, great job getting the ball outside to Akpinar, who has to launch it. And Gotcher with the offensive rebound, throws it in bounds, and good job by Slavinskas to knock it over to Janavicius, who crosses midcourt, gets it back to Slavinskas, and then he is denied by Gayak, and the ball goes out of bounds off of Slavinskas. Juga Slavinskas appealing in kind of a bizarre play, but the referee's got it right. Gayak got his hand on the ball, but as it went out, also still went off of Slavinskas. Andre Williamson takes a seat here in crunch time. 2.5 minutes to go. You feel like any basket right now by Besiktas would be a dagger, especially of the three-point variety. Gotcher. An offensive foul called on Gayak. That's a big call. Boy, we see that moving screen called so often. Really is a tough one to master for players. Omer Uku checks in. Out goes Akpinar. All of this game really offensively tonight. Omer Abdul playing defense. Janavicius for three. Oh, he missed it badly, didn't he? It'll stay at this end, however. And Yildizni needs to be careful. He doesn't remonstrate too much. He must firmly believe it should be their basketball. And he's saying we can't do it until there's 2 minutes. Watch this again. Can't review it. Watch. Well, Galis open, and almost Neptunas take advantage of that big call. And McKissick brings it across midcourt. He's open, so he's going to take it. And an offense, oh, unbelievable. Olasavich is called for the foul on McKissick, taking the three-pointer. He appeals to Boris Krajic. Want to get a hand in the face, but you do not want to make contact. And the contact was made on McKissick's right hand. But now Shaquille McKissick. Boy, these are huge free throws. Makes the first. Huge disparity in trips to the line tonight. 8 of 10 for Neptunas, 20 of 29 for Besiktas. But remember, Neptunas got into trouble. They were over the limit in that second quarter and put Besiktas on the line very early in that quarter. And sure enough, McKissick goes to the line, makes all 3 free throws, and takes the lead up to 7 points. Neptunas's hopes of reaching the playoffs right now hanging by a thread. Janavicius goes behind his back. Galis, tough pass to Olasavicius. Galis puts it up. Good! Goodness me, he's got ice running in his veins. 5 3-pointers for Davidus Galis, 5 of 11. And that has kept them in the hunt. But they need to get a stop. What happens now for Besiktas? Will it be McKissick? Will it be Gotcher? Will they get it to Gaig down low? Here goes McKissick, steps back, puts it up. Oh, he knocks it in! He gets it right back, Shaquille McKissick. Huge shot for Shaquille McKissick. Is that going to be the shot that finishes off Neptunas, who called timeout? Shaquille McKissick goes to 21 points. A team high. He's 2 of 6 from deep. And you see, again, the free throws, they've been huge for Besiktas. They've missed 9, but they've made 22. That was one of the plays of the game right there, that McKissick jam earlier in the first half. There he is, hitting this big three to push the lead back to 7 points. 21 points for Shaquille McKissick, 10 rebounds, and he did have 24 earlier this season against PAOK and 27 in the first game against Neptunas, which Neptunas, of course, won Lithuania. Galis from downtown, he gets it back. What a performance from Galis. He is not allowing this thing to finish. unbelievable. 30 points. I mean, this is a heroic performance from Davidis Galis tonight. Utterly sensational. 10 of 19 from the floor, 6 of 12 from three-point range. And really, when he releases it, you think it's going in. See the top scorers for Besiktas, but really Galis has had a whale of a season when you think about it. Came into this game averaging 15.2 points per game, 3.3 rebounds and 3 assists, and shooting 34.5% from deep. But he had 9 double-digit games coming into this. He scored 25 points for Neptunas last week against Bonn in that vital game that they won, Neptunas. He had 23 earlier this season against Happy Casa Brindisi. And, of course, he had 19 points in the second game against Brindisi. He had 17 against Dijon, 18 against Dijon. So, I mean, he's been pretty solid. He only had 11 points, however, in the first game against Besiktas. But this is his best game shooting the basketball from three-point range. His previous high for number of makes, he had 3 on 3 occasions. Tonight, he's got 6. And there's still work to be done for Besiktas. Akpinar inside the final minute now. Gajic gets it over to Yildisley. Shot clock down to 9. Akpinar. They got to get it to McKissick, Shirley, or Gotcher. Here he is. Gotcher steps back. It's a 2. If he goes in, he misses, and the ball goes out of bounds. And it looks like it's going to be Besiktas basketball, but now the referees consult each other. And they say it's going to be Neptunas basketball. Wow. Yeah, you can see, I mean, that was a lot closer than it looked in game action. They could review that if they wanted. Umar Utku Al back in the game. Akpinar goes out. All comes in for his defense. And you don't want to foul and put him on the line, but to be fair, that might be the preferred option rather than letting Galis attempt a three-pointer. Janavicius. Oh, he turned it over. Great defense by All and Gajic. One of them got a hand on it. And then Slavinskas stops the clock with the foul. That was a huge play defensively. Janavicius got it into the paint and tried to get past Umar Utkul Al and Gajic and was unsuccessful. Officially, they're going to say it was, in fact, Burak Yildisley. So now McKissick fouled, goes back to the line, pads his stats, goes to 22 points and 10 rebounds. Still work to be done, folks. A lot can happen in 19.5 seconds. You've watched basketball in your lifetime, you know no lead is safe with this amount of time on the clock. Now the lead goes back to 6. But definitely the clock is the enemy. Janavicius gets in, takes the bump. Boy, they've lived dangerously. Samet Gajic. And now a foul called, and really Janavicius, I think a combination of being upset with himself for missing the layup and then maybe not getting the call. There was contact, but then again, I'd have to see it again whether Gajic went straight up. Meanwhile, Yildisley is at the line, and these might be game-clinching free throws. If he makes it, and he sure does sink the first. 7, and they're going to pass it up. Intercepted by McKissick, and that'll do it. That will do it, folks. Besiktas remain arguably the hottest team in the Basketball Champions League. They protect the home court. They win it over determined, never say die Neptunas Klaipeda team. And Besiktas punch their spot in the playoffs. They win it 76-69 over Neptunas Klaipeda. Well, Cavish is having to go with the referees, but you know what? Not a strange sight, really, when you lose a tough game. And the refs have to call it like they see it. You see the Besiktas fans giving their team standing ovation. The Besiktas players go over and thank them for coming, and now they're going to do a little post-game celebration here in Istanbul, in the city where East meets West. Utterly fantastic recovery for Besiktas. Now winners of 4 consecutive games. They improve to 7-6, and they clinch their spot in the playoffs. What a story. 15 of 45 inside the arc for Besiktas, 25 of 35 at the line. They had 7 3-pointers, 7 threes as well for Neptunas, 6 of them made by Galis and 1 by Janavicius. But again, that free throw disparity was huge. Identical rebounding numbers, except more offensive rebounds for Besiktas. McKissick had the 23 points, 30 for Galis, who really could not have been much better than he was tonight. He was terrific. Gotcher had 19, 15 for Yildisley, 9 for Janavicius, and 8 for Slavinskas. So tough night at the office for Neptunas. They had their opportunities, but you watch this Besiktas team play right now, and they just have a self-belief about them. And I suppose what bodes well for them tonight is you can see that late in the game they were going to McKissick, and he was delivering in a big way. For much of the contest, it was Gotcher who was making plays, getting open, getting his feet set, hitting shots. And then you've got this whole cast of unheralded players, the likes of Burak Yildisley, Samet Geyik, Omer Utkul, all of them really contributing to the cause. And you had Akpinar and Jurisic as well. They played their role tonight, perhaps not as good as they have been in the past, but at the end of the day for Besiktas, all you want to do is win. And they went with the hot hands on the court, and they got the win that they were looking for. So they beat the team, Neptunas, that beat them early in the year by 6 points. They actually end up winning on point differential or goal differential, but it doesn't matter because they're going to end up with more wins anyway. So that tiebreaker would not come into effect. And for Neptunas, it's disappointment as they're going to miss out on the playoffs for the first time in 4 basketball Champions League appearances. So wonderful contest tonight here in Istanbul. And again, Besiktas winning it 76-69, so they move on to the playoffs. We know we're going to have at least one team from Turkey in the postseason, and it's the team in Istanbul. Also, Bandirma are battling away right now at Anwar Voclavik, trailing 72-69, doing their best to stay in the hunt themselves. And wow, catch your breath, folks. It's been a lot of fun. This Besiktas team are going to finish things up next week. Well, both teams actually, in fact, are going to have games next week. Besiktas, they will play at Dijon. And Neptunas, meanwhile, even though it will not matter, are going to finish up their season at home against Falco Sombo. So that game will be on Tuesday. Besiktas, their game will also be on Tuesday night. So we'll have a look at the standings, and Besiktas have right now moved up into 3rd place. Bonn also, they can go for their 8th win tonight, so they would potentially leapfrog Besiktas, so they would if they were to win that game. And you see Neptunas fall to 5-8 and no longer with any chance of moving on to the postseason. So that's it, folks. Great game of basketball tonight. Thanks for joining us one last time. Besiktas Sompo Sigorta win at 76-69 over Neptunas Klaipeda to seal their place in the Basketball Champions League playoffs.